Yo, yo. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, cool. That's coming through. Hey, bro.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I'm just getting this mic set up. So I'm you basically recording off phone, but I'm recording from a mic next to my face as well. So I'll send you the clean audio afterwards.
Okay, cool. That's all good with me, man. But yeah, I'm
Cool.
just checking that we heard you on the stream, and that's all good. So let me just tweet this out. And I mean, is there anything you want to discuss in particular? We could just sort of do a freewheeling sort of chat, like.
I mean, ideally, I would like to touch on a couple of things I'm involved with at the minute.
Okay.
Mainly just a kind of overview. So obviously we did one like a year and a half ago, didn't we?
I think maybe even longer than that, to be honest. Let me check now. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a
probably.
good
I think it
while.
was.
Yeah, fuck.
So yeah, just kind of clash culture around, just clash culture in general.
Yeah,
I haven't actually watched Lord of the Mics yet, so but we can have a little brief interlude into that.
sure.
Um, and then also, yeah, ideally, I'd like to talk about URL if possible.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
And yeah, we'll take questions as well from the chat.
yeah,
But yeah, are you good to go?
yeah. I'll start recording from now. Right, let me just move this along. So
Yeah.
roughly how long are we?
What? How long we're gonna go?
Yeah, roughly. Somewhat.
Maybe like under an hour. I'd say maybe like 45 minutes,
Under
something like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, give me 1 sec then. Just
Alright,
gonna make sure the recording doesn't run out. I've had it. I did it. We did a 2.5 hour podcast recording.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Hours of content.
Oh.
Absolute killer.
Yo, can you hear me, man? I can't really hear you. Yo.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh no.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh no.
No. I can't
1
hear
second.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yo, can you hear me, man? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah, you good to go, man?
Yes. Yes, I believe I am. I've got this set up for 45 minutes, so it should be right.
All right, cool.
Cool.
All right.
And yes, we are recording from now. Yes, sir.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. We are here with a return guest. We were saying off air that we thought it was like a year and a half since our last chat. I just checked. Battle Rap Resume number 60 with Sleepy G came out the 31st of January 2017. So
wow,
2.5
long time
years.
ago, man.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, all good, man. I'm busy. I'm good. Yeah, it's I didn't realize it was that long. You know, that's a real like so much stuff's
Huge
different
span
now.
of time.
That's mad.
Huge span of time.
Yeah, it's mad.
Like,
yeah, no, I'm good though. I'm good. Keeping busy. Doing music full time, which is fun. Yeah, just generally quite busy, man. Trying to get involved with as many things as possible, pretty much.
Constantly releasing shit, man. Like, it's
yeah, I know.
impressive.
It's but
like
basically, I'm in quite a lucky position.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm in quite a lucky position where I can essentially, because everything comes under like one bracket, which is like Kovu essentially. For those who aren't aware, that's my current stage name. So basically,
I miss Sleepy G, man. Or Mr. Sleeps, right?
Yeah, way back.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 2012, 2011 or something.
That's that London Olympic era, like.
Yeah, man. I remember I was on. Yeah, that's literally was. I was on holiday. I remember. I was called that then. Yeah, mad.
But you're Kovu now.
Yeah, Kovu now. I've been Kovu for the last 4 or 5 years, I'd say.
Was that just a conscious decision, just to switch? I'm sure we just discussed this in the past episode. I need to go back and listen to that. But that kind of evolution into a new moniker, that signified, that was a sigil, right? Like.
Yeah, I think more than anything, because Sleepy G as a name was literally just battle rap. That's the only thing I ever used it for. And realistically, it's not that I didn't want like all the career kind of music stuff. Because the thing is, I was making music way before I was ever into battle rap. Like literally, I was doing what I'm doing now way. But like I've been doing what I'm doing now for about 11 years. So this whole sort of thing of like almost all kind of like stopped when I was fully on battle rap, if you know what I mean. It was more a case of like that's what I was interested in at the time, so that's what I was putting all of my effort into. I was still writing or whatever, but it was mainly that. And then either side of that, I've done kind of Mr. Sleeps, and then the other side of that, come out the other end, is Kovu, which is like what I'm pretty much doing now, which pretty much covers It covers being a presenter more than anything else, musician. All of my written work comes under Kovu as well. There's like audio acting work in there as well.
Your poetry.
Yeah, there's not poetry yet. But
your one act play, like a lot of Kovu stuff there. It's like Code Red culture. Like they were branching out a bit.
Yeah, I think it's good though, man. I think being a specialist at one thing is great, but I think realistically, there's always going to be someone just as good and cheaper. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think if you just specialize in one thing a lot of the time, especially in the music industry, man, like I think now you see so many people who are like, it used to be a case of you just make the music, hand it over to a company or whatever, and they sort the rest out. Right. They'll sort your promo videos out, your advertising, your social media stuff. Like now, you have to know it all yourself. Like you really, really do have to understand marketing yourself if you're going to succeed. Which I remember I had a massive debate about this on Facebook with someone the other day, and they were just very much like in disagreement with me. And I was trying to get them to understand, like, you can have the best music in the world, you could be the best rapper in the world, but if you don't know how to let people know that, then you may as well not do it, because no one's going to see it. If you're out here trying to do this as a career, you have to be able to do everything, essentially.
Yeah, you're just being realistic, aren't you? Really, like
yeah,
you're being pragmatic about it. Like that pie in the sky thinking is just naive. And like you say, it haunts me. Like I remember when I was younger, I wanted to be a screenwriter, and I was reading all these screenwriting books, and they were like, for every hour you're not reading a script or writing a script or doing a draft, like they're getting ahead of you, and it kind of drove me insane a bit. Like you can become obsessed with that competitive ethos, can't you?
You really, really can. And I think, see, me personally, I really enjoy what I do. Like, there's nothing I enjoy more. Literally, this is going to sound well bad, but there's nothing I enjoy more than ticking off stuff on a to-do list. You know what I mean? Like, it's my favorite thing in the world, just to go through and go green, 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 green. I've got a document called Workplace, which is literally where I put everything I need to do every day. All goes in there, and just green ticks just the whole way down. I get so much enjoyment out of doing that, because then I can look back over that day and go, I did so much today. I want to do the same tomorrow, and it's like a mindset thing more than anything else. If you wake up with the kind of mindset of, I'm not trying to do no inspirational speech or anything like that, but like if you kind of wake up with, I found, with the mindset of stuff needs to get done. If you don't know how to do it, learn how to do it rather than pay someone else to do it, because then eventually you can get paid to do it yourself. That's pretty much my kind of ethos on it.
Mm-hmm. And pushing forward into battle rap, then, obviously, as we discussed with the episode, it's been a long time since you battled properly. You know, we went through the Bard Clash and the rap. You beat Raptor. A lot of people forget that.
You know, the maddest thing is that's still not online. I was literally trying to show someone it the other day. It's still not online, and I'm so annoyed at it, because that was just like my crowning, like the one bit where
running through the mids, like that bar was crazy, like.
Yeah, that was a weird time as well. Like, that was literally on free. That's mad that was free.
You were battling all the time, like.
Yeah.
That was your
year.
I
did a fair few, to be fair.
Yeah, you were just fucking in it, and then it went on from there. Like, we've debated the Shocks battle before. We don't need to get into that.
Yeah, I remember. I actually remember that conversation.
So yeah, if you want to hear that, go back to the old episode. You teamed up with Danny Jack as well. Remember the Press one and Lens one, 2-on-2?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed that, man. I mean, me and Danny have done a lot of work together. Since then,
is he South Point or?
Yeah, he is. He's not like, it's not like his main thing.
Sure.
But obviously South Point is a collective. There's about like 60, 70 different artists involved. So it's like a big old thing. And when he like is the right man for the job for a vocal, we get him involved. If you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So it's essentially like a label roster. So if he, a lot of the time, a lot of the music he releases himself isn't necessarily suited to what we at South Point. However, he will sometimes provide like the perfect kind of vocal assist for like some kind of spacey tune or something dance music-y that works for his vocal tone, because he's got a really unique vocal tone, Danny.
Yeah.
And I find a lot of the time it works quite well on kind of like dark, dingy sort of experimental bass stuff. It sounds quite space AP, which is really, really cool. And there aren't that many people who have Danny's sort of vocal tone, but we've done a lot of shows together as well. He's a wicked host. When he's in the zone, Danny's one of my favourite hosts to work with ever.
And getting forward then into battle rap as a whole, since you battled, like, have you been following the scene closely, domestic, overseas, or?
You see, for me, I think the UK, and this is 100%, honest, I'll probably get chastised for saying it, but I think, realistically, the kind of buzz of the UK scene kind of went a long time ago. I don't think there's really any buzz for it anymore. Like I can kind of like losing interest, because I still have that when I watch. I don't really get it for King of the Dot either. I only really get it when I watch URL.
I know what you mean. I mean, Summer Impact weekend's going down this weekend, and they've just had
this weekend.
Yeah, it's this weekend, and they just had.
Is it today or is it tomorrow?
It's today. It's tonight.
Oh my! What? I may have to. That may be my plan sorted for the evening. Then. Yeah, I genuinely didn't know it was today. Oh, I might have to get the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. They did the basketball game earlier. Team Submathers versus Team Gnome, and there's loads of footage of that online as well. And you're right. Just that sort of general hubbub and that electricity that accompanied, like when you saw the queues outside Fifth Birthday or something. You know.
Yeah.
It's not your age. Like it's just it's. It's a pay limitation, really. It's sad to see, and it's not even their fault. It's this boom and bust happen in so many different subcultures.
Yeah, of course it does, and I think I think this is. I'm going to make a football analogy here because if you've seen me on Twitter over the last couple of weeks, you'll have seen how much it frustrates me. But I think it's very similar to football in a kind of way where it's just like there's no like buzz for it anymore. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like that you have this. There's such like a subculture that you follow for it, and then you just kind of get to a point where you just know you're like, oh, okay, same thing. And I think as well, the idea of a superstar in the UK is now gone. I really think it's gone. I don't think there is any particular superstars in the UK anymore. The only one who's close for me is Sol. And I think I don't even know if he's not interested. I can't speak for him, but he kind of comes across as though it's like, it's whatever. Not really interested in it anymore. You know what I mean? And I just don't really see the star quality of anyone. And I remember when I was younger, I used to still get starstruck by these people.
Yeah.
When I was going to events, I used to get starstruck talking to someone like Archaic or whatever. I don't actually think I ever spoke to Archaic thinking about it, but talking to someone like Sol, talking to like someone like someone in that kind of like upper like top tier caliber. Obviously you all become friends or whatever through going to the events, and I've met a fair few people that I am really good friends with through Battle Rap. However, I just there's just something gone. You know what I mean? Like I'd be starstruck if I was to go to a URL event.
Yeah.
But I don't think you see, the reason I haven't been to an event in the UK for a long period of time is one, I don't tend to go to them unless I'm getting paid, if I'm honest with you. But I don't tend to go to them because there's nothing really. I hate to badmouth it as well, but I just find there's not really anything for me, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Just not to Sleepy's taste.
Yeah, I just find it's really difficult to describe. I don't want to say corny because it's not corny. I just think it's almost as if as soon as you step foot into a battle forum, you have the title of, oh, I can do this as well. And I think there was never any kind of quality. I don't think it's anyone's fault either, because I think a lot of people got disinterested, so you had to fill up like places with new people. But I just think the quality control went straight out the window, and now I think it's literally a case of anyone in that group is, or any of the like Facebook groups or whatever, thinks they are in quote unquote a battle rapper, despite like not having any ability when it comes to rapping. For me, the most important thing is the ability to rap, you know what I mean, like that. And you can be super linguistic or whatever, and and to me it's just not interesting. I like to hear people rap well and say cold stuff. And I think Avo said it on Watch, like the most important thing about being a rapper is the ability to say stuff and make it sound cool. That's like the most important thing, which I completely agree with. And I just find a lot of the people in the UK currently just don't have any like star factor. They don't have anything that makes me kind of go, ooh. Like you could write a really cool punchline that refers to some episode of, I don't know, Game of Thrones in like the season 3 that only 6 people actually ever saw or something like that. Right. And it's like, cool, wicked, it's amazing, well done, you've done some really good reference work. However, it's not like, did you have to go do all that, or could you just call him a dickhead? Like you know what I mean? That's for me. Like, and it's not. The thing is, I am very much a bars person. I like joke. I'm good with jokes or whatever. I don't really think there's actually that much of a divide between the two. I think to put them in separate brackets is weird. But I do like hard hitting stuff. Again, it's why it comes down to URL. Like for me currently, I think Pat Stay is the best in the world. He says the coldest stuff in such a slick kind of way, and just sounds good. But then Shotgun Sugar's probably my second favourite in the world currently. So it's like that.
Very similar battlers.
I'd say they've become similar battlers. I think over their careers they've been very, very different. I do honestly think like Pat versus Suge. I can't remember what the name of the event was, but I watched that again the other day. That's my favourite battle this year by an absolute country mile. Mm-hmm. By just because of the finesse, they're both on top form. Everything about that battle for me is just like, yes, I'm enjoying this so much.
And I know what you mean with URL. I mean, there is something, really indelible about that style. You have the app then?
Say again?
Do you have the app, the URL app?
No, you know what? I haven't. I genuinely have just
I've got it. Yeah. It's good. And I mean, the thing is, they're adding 3 battles a week. So I think the app's been around now for like 3 months or something. So there's like 100 battles on there when you sign up. All ones you've really wanted to see. Obviously stuff eventually gets taken off for YouTube, but the majority of it never going to leave it. But there's no extracurricular content. Obviously we have Champion, but some sort of official URL endorsed ESPN, or even just like the highlights of the battles, like a match of the day type thing. Like they need to do that.
I'd agree with that. I've said for a long period of time that the thing that makes something certified is the media that goes behind it. So, for instance, for me, battle rap started getting interesting when I started seeing all these, not even necessarily bloggers, but things like Champion, things like what. My favorite thing to do with battle rap at the minute is watch. I love watch so much. Every single episode of it, I sit down and enjoy. Because it's there's a level of punditry to it. There's a level of involvement. There's a level of kind of interaction. But it's still primarily talking about battles and reviewing battles, but from people who know what they're talking about. Now, put it this way: if we were to do like a watch sort of thing in the UK, and we were to get, I literally don't know any of the names of the new people who are doing battling in the UK currently. But if we were to get two people who are like the undercard of, I don't know, the next Code Red event or whatever, and they're like the mid to undercard, who's going to watch it? Who's going to really be interested?
Me.
I mean, yeah, yes, that's very true. But you know what it is? I think going back to the thing of it, back to the UK, I think more than anything else, it's now become so inward. Like, it's very difficult for people to kind of latch onto it because there's no tangible strings on the outside. There's nothing you can kind of grapple onto. It's all this like kind of encased bubble of like, this is the UK Battle Club sort of thing.
I mean, it's we don't have the diversity of multiple states in our country that have different regional leagues, so ultimately it does grow a little inbred just because it's so small. It's the same events, fracture within the same events. It's just a lot of the criticisms you're volleying are completely fair, but they're just inevitable of the progression of this sort of thing.
I think the UK hit a boom way too early. In honest truth, I don't think it was prepared for that. There wasn't the infrastructure there.
When was the golden era? Would it be like from when Grist versus Blizzard dropped to about?
I'd say Fifth Birthday is the definition.
Yeah.
Birthday weekend was the best.
Yeah, because it was a year after Fourth Birthday sort of defined what they could do. Like.
Yeah. I think Fifth Birthday was without a doubt the best event I've ever been to. I think it was. The only thing that's come close to that realistically is Sunburn.
Yo, man, you breaking up?
That was the kind of that was like a classic Brixton Jam event. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear
me? No, it keeps cutting out, man.
Oh, all right, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Fifth Birthday. I was just there for the Saturday, but seeing Fifth Birthday got me onto Instagram, weirdly enough. I remember Don't Flop at the time. Yeah, we're launching their own Instagram. And each day they were announcing a Fifth Birthday matchup exclusively through the app. And, they just had a lot of clever stuff on store. Like, I think they put some stuff into the Chimp store or whatever, like free Don't Flop beanies and some quite novel marketing ideas. But yeah, Fifth Birthday, maybe Fourth Birthday in terms of quality was better overall. But Fifth Birthday, the vibe of this giant headline event was just unmatched.
I've never really experienced anything like that. Like being on that, on just in like the little crowd on stage or whatever. For me, that was like the thing where I was like, wow, this is a massive thing that's happening here. You had like over 1,000 people, I think it was, packed into Stylus. Like the top floor was rammed, the bottom floor was rammed. Like we turned up like, I think we got there. We went on the. Did we go on a coach? No, we got the train up, I think. No, we didn't. We got the coach up. I remember. Literally, there's some the mad coach stories. But yeah, we got the coach up. And we got there like 10 minutes late, so we got into the room like as Mr. 13. Well, I think it was Mr. 13, someone else. I can't remember what it was. It was the first battle of the first day.
Mr. 13 versus Bowski, I think.
Yeah, that's the one. That was the kid. We got there like halfway through it, so we walked into this room like fully packed out. Now, for me, there's nothing more exciting than walking into a packed out room. Like, it's like walking into getting to a football stadium before it starts or whatever. It's kind of like, okay, cool. And then it packs out and you're like, wow, this is sick. But walking into it at like the full volume, like the full mass of everyone already there, like it was such an experience to go to. And I think as well that there was for me the kind of time where I kind of not felt like involved in it, but kind of that's where I got to speak to a lot of people. It's where I made like a lot of closer friends, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So it became like a bit more of it became a bit more social for me. And I think as well, this kind of it's not necessarily an issue, but I think it's what it definitely contributed to kind of where we are now. I think it became almost too social, if you know what I mean. Like, obviously it's a very niche thing, and obviously you're going to get to know people, and you're going to end up going with the same people because it's so niche. But I think it got to the point where people were going purely to see friends or whatever, rather than go for the spectacle. so like the lineups didn't have to be as good or whatever. And I think as well, the other thing I remember saying this at the time, the only way that it was ever gonna because there was no real structure behind anything, how it all worked. It was pretty much kind of not thrown together, but especially from like a battler's perspective at the time, it definitely seemed like everything was kind of just pushed together. It wasn't like this is the foundational plan and we're going to build up from here. It was very much like, oh, we're gonna put that there, and hopefully it will work. And I think there was no real foundation, especially money wise. Like I never even, obviously I was never in a position to really ask to get paid to battle. But I think in that sort of scenario, you have to have, when you're putting that many people into a building, you have to have, I think, a monetary incentive for the people involved. And I think there's obviously been a lot of stuff to do with money in the UK over the years. I don't really want to get into because it's all long. It's all been spoken about 1,000 times. But I think at the time, the fact basically the way that it was set up in the UK was these massive events. All the people had to pay for was all the promoters had to pay for was international battlers and their travel, and then the hotels. And apart from that, there was no real cost to putting on these mega events. So you could put on these mega lineups and get your money back because you were only paying half the lineup. If you were to put on a massive UK versus UK lineup at the time, there was not much money changing hands. Realistically, there was not much money changing hands. If you're selling tickets for 20 quid a throw and you're getting 400 people in there, that's a big payday. And if you haven't got any like real outgoings in regard, you've got to sort the venue out, but 9 times out of 10, I'd imagine the venue would be free and they'd just take the full drinks percentage or whatever, because of how many people were there buying drinks for the day, and it was like an extended period of time. For me, when I'm looking at it, I don't remember it ever being structured to it. It was a thing of like, oh, you get to this point, and then you can start getting paid when you're hitting this many views or whatever. Because that's how it always should have been for me. It should have been based on like if you.
But like, it was unprecedented, though, wasn't it? Like no one had ever done anything like this before. Like there was no architecture. Like
I think that's what I was saying earlier in regards to, I think it happened too quickly. I think the boom happened over the course of a year rather than the course of like a fight. Like for instance, King of the Dot. They are very like monetarily secure from what I can see from the outside. They look like they're very just well run, slick operation. They do what they need to do. Everyone's like, it's very rare you hear about any kind of controversy around URL payment, not your King of the Dot payment. It just seems to be like, cool, this is how much you're getting paid. This is it. Make sure you're there. It's in the contract that if you choke 3 rounds or whatever, you won't get paid the full amount. And it's there. And the contract's there. You sign the contract. That's your event. That's how a proper promotion works. It's how you put on a proper event of any kind. You sign the contract. Make sure you fulfill all your obligations, and then you get paid after the show. You'll get paid a bit up front and then a bit after the show. In the UK, it just never seemed to be like that. And now, obviously, you've got people trying to approach it with that kind of level of professionalism. But unfortunately, it should have been implemented during the growth rather than trying to cure it. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense, like that's how it was for me. I think the UK wasn't ready. I don't think for the boom. And I think it was just it was very much like, oh my God, we are this high. This is happening all the time. This is amazing. These massive mega sellout events. Because what was it? It was 5th birthday weekend, then set the standard.
Pretty much like a month after, with Shufflo versus Marvel Quest.
Like another
great event.
That was like another mega Brixton Jam event. And like, I love Brixton Jam events, man. I've always enjoyed Brixton Jam. It's one of my favourite venues in the UK. But yeah, I just don't think the UK was ready for the boom. Essentially, that's my kind of overarching thing on it.
It was it was a bit of a gold rush, and it's crazy to see all those faces. Like, where are they now? Do they even remember that they saw fucking Shuffler versus Seeing Cracker? Do they even care? Like, just dust in the wind, like depleted. Like, remember Sunburn 3? There was no one there.
Yeah. This is the thing. That, again, it just comes back to structuring. For me, like, obviously, I'm not an expert. I wasn't putting on events. I don't know how much trouble there was getting hotel rooms for that many people or whatever along those lines. I don't know the ins and outs. I'm not going to try and claim like I do. But it just seems to me like it was not thrown together, but it seems like there was never a kind of like plan of action in place for growth.
I mean, again, you can't, like, with URL, so many years of success have afforded them the opportunity with this app, and I think this app is paying for Summer Impact, essentially. I think they've got something like 90,000 subscribers, I saw, so, you know, they're raking it in, and, I mean, something like that, like, Premier Battles tried it, didn't they, with the network, and it's like, they were like, oh yeah, we had like 1,000 subscribers at our peak. I was like, did you really? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you had 1,000, why would you open it up? Like,
I just think more than I just think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in the UK trying to make it seem like it's bigger than it is, but that stuff always gets found out, essentially.
And I mean, obviously the fallout has happened in the scene in terms of Don't Flop and everything that went down there. Pretty tragic, right?
Yeah, really tragic. And I think a lot of it is from the outside perspective. Obviously, I'm quite close to quite a few of the people that have been involved in it. So to kind of...
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear. Sorry, I don't know what's going on today. My Wi-Fi is all over the shop.
No, that's all good, man. Sorry, yeah, you were saying about Don't Flop.
Yeah. So when it all kind of collapsed, I was kind of I was already kind of out of the picture battle-wise. I was very much just I was just DJing at this point. You know what I mean? I was very much like which was fun. I do actually really miss doing the battle shows.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like a new thing, you know what I mean? They didn't really have like a touring DJ that went on tour with the shows, and I think it could have been utilised a lot better. I think personally, there could have been like a lot more could have been done with like the touring, the live show.
Smoke break, like.
Yeah, and it's the most like I'd hate to do that. I hate to perform to a room that's leaving. Oh my word, it's the worst thing, the worst feeling. So I think when you're like looking when you kind of so yeah, basically we were talking about how it all kind of when it all kind of collapsed. Obviously, it was almost like radio silence for like about a month, and then you had these two other like things pop up, and obviously DS still going, and I think they're in a better position than they have been for a couple of years. But I don't know. I don't think the UK is big enough to support multiple leagues. Realistically, I don't think it is. I think it stretches everything. It means everyone's kind of half-arsing stuff because there's no like big kind of mega platform.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the UK needed that big thing. As you said, like we don't have the luxury of having like multiple states which are filled up with lots of people. We are essentially one state.
Hello, yeah. Sorry, man. Yeah, it seems to be cutting out, but yeah, it is. You're right. It's been fractured beyond belief. The scene over here, really, and everyone was trying to basically next in line spawned a few leagues, not in terms of the personnel, but in terms of the idea of having very few big, small room events with lots of internationals over there in your concretes and your fiddlers, etc. And yeah, there was never any kind of like giant prestigious thing going down, which we're building up to Apex. Has that got you excited? A lot of internationals.
You know what? Like I'm looking at it. I did actually quite want to go, but it's just I'm booked that weekend, unfortunately. But I was looking at it, and I'm like, I'll probably get the pay-per-view. I'll probably get that, but like, I don't know. It just seems almost like too little, too late. If you know what I mean. Maybe I'm just a bit stubborn towards it all, or whatever. But to me, it comes across like it just seems a bit too little. And to be honest with you, I remember when Premiere was kind of coming up, I enjoyed the battles. However, I really did not like the look of how.
Hello?
In 100% honesty.
Oh, sorry, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know
right.
what's going on there.
Me neither. But yeah, man. So, and of course, you mentioned before you're doing music full time. So you went on to do your own radio show, your own breakfast show.
Yeah. So,
so cool.
Basically, for the majority of the time that I was DJing for Don't Flop, I was doing. I was on Trickstar Radio in Brighton. As I was saying like beforehand, I've been doing the music side of things for about 11 years now, and that was my primary thing. It always kind of has been. So basically, yeah, they offered me the job in November, and I started in December. So I've been full time doing music pretty much since then. So yeah, we do breakfast 7 till 10 Monday to Friday, Trickstar Radio. Loads of guests on there. I tried to get 2 or 3 guests in every week, but yeah, we tried to cover as much like talking topics as possible. So we talk music, we talk sport, we talk kind of like technology and stuff like that. Local stuff, obviously, to do with Brighton. We are a Brighton-based station, and I'm very like big on pushing Brighton for what Brighton is. And yeah, we just tried to cover as much as possible. And to be honest, like the listenership's gone up and up and up since we started. The station's been around for like 6 years or whatever, so it's like it's been around for a fair amount of time, so it's got a decent following. But the breakfast show, like that slot, has just gone up and up and up. And I've had so many good opportunities come from it. But yeah, it's kind of bizarre, obviously, because like you can imagine like doing stuff for like 11 years to then turn around and be like, I'm actually doing this full time now. I don't have to do this after I finish work.
Yeah.
This is work now, so it's quite a cool thing. But yeah, I've you know, more than anything else, what I really like to see, I like to see one thing I really enjoy is the fact that I can now go to certain battlers or whatever. For instance, Harry J or Dialect, they've got music dropping like every week at the minute. And for me to be able to kind of message them and go, cool, yeah, let's get this one on playlist or whatever, and then we can have this on rotation. To be able to kind of give someone that's really cool to me. And I think there is nowhere near enough of that kind of level of support within the UK battle scene either. I think, obviously, people don't tend to care about the music. People care about battles. That's understandable. If you're a battle rapper, people want to hear you battle. That's like an obvious one for me. But I think if you can kind of push people's like side hustles, like Harry Robinson, it used to be called Harry J now, he's like touring Europe soon.
Right.
So you've got people that are really smacking it. You've
with
got
Far Caspian, right?
Yeah, like they popped up in. Bear in mind, I've never listened to their stuff on Spotify. They popped up in my New Music Friday.
Right.
Which is like mad when you actually think about it. That's like huge. In between like a new Robbie Williams single and a Mr. Easy single. It's actually quite mad. So you've got people really and as well, there are a fair few people off battling that are like smashing what they want to do. Look at Definition now with his obviously he's doing the Marvel channel. You've got Enigma winning book prizes. You've got Wilsey is also a breakfast show host on Westside. So you've got like a lot of people who have kind of gone on from it to do other things, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, yeah. No, there's so much talent, like Bagnall Kruger as well, like Bamalam.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It was kind of like with those guys, it was like they were always going to get really good positions. Like there was no way enough they weren't. Like they were so good at what they did, and they were so hardworking, so like the right mindset to get stuff done, especially in creative industries. It's so easy in creative industries to kind of go, oh well, I just wasn't really happy with it, so I didn't do it. It's so easy to do that, and it frustrates me beyond belief. But with them, I find that they've always had that kind of mindset of, no, we're going to go and do the job, get the job done, and then you will see the good results of us getting the job done quickly and efficiently, which is amazing to me. But yeah, back on breakfast. 7 till 10 Monday to Friday. We have loads of guests. I had who have I had battle wise? I've had Woolsey on before. I had Most Prob on a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
And it was good to chat to him. Like he's very much like he writes for a living now, which is really, really cool. But it was good to chat to him and hear about all the music stuff he's doing as well. We tend to do, whenever we have guests, we tend to do like the second hour of the show is very much just like it's almost like this. It's like a podcast. We go back and forth, play music in between. It's not just musicians either. Like I've had like people who work for the drug and alcohol services in Brighton on there. Like I've had like event promoters and stuff like that. People involved with the Fringe, just like a lot of like creative people essentially. Cool. And just try to keep it as varied as possible, yeah. And it all ties in quite nicely. Because obviously I do that. I work for Juno Download as their podcast host, and they're kind of one of their main reviewers for grime and bass music. So I write reviews for them. I'm head of content for a website called 3000.co.uk, which is again just kind of like reviews, interviews, articles. And then obviously South Point as well, running like a label. There's like a lot of parts to it involved, and they all kind of come in under one bracket, which is a really cool position to be in more than anything else. And to be honest, I do want to get back involved with like UK battle stuff. Like, I was speaking to Danny the other day about maybe coming up and co-hosting an event, because it's what I do now. You know what I mean? I'm a presenter more than anything else, which is bizarre because you kind of look back over a lot of my older battles or whatever, and I'm very not shy, but I don't come across like a presenter. You know what I mean?
No, certainly not, and especially in the One battle.
Mate, don't even get me started on it. You know the mad thing is, if people say, oh, do you used to battle? I go, yeah, don't watch that one. Watch the other ones. Don't watch that one.
Again, we spent a lot of time on that battle, I remember, on our episodes. So, you know, people go back and check out that early BRR. And how do people check out, like, the podcasts and the shows? Can they stream them, or...?
So this obviously if you're in Brighton, we're on DAB. But if not, you can listen to this. We've got the app and the new app coming now, the Trickstar Radio app. You can listen to us through the Radio Cult app, through TuneIn, and you can listen to us via the website as well. And then obviously then there is a listen back feature basically where you can listen back to each hour individually, which is pretty useful. But yeah, in for the Juno podcast as well, that's pretty much just on SoundCloud at the minute, because I tell you what, the amount of aggro it takes to get a podcast on Spotify that's music based. Oh my word. Right. Because you are just violating 1,000 laws even by uploading it. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, and the thing is, it's all like completely fair. It's just so aggravating to do, because obviously I'd like to put me personally, I'd like to put my interview hours up as podcasts onto Spotify, but I can't because of playing music that I don't own the rights to.
So annoying.
It's so annoying. And I think it's easy to bog down like a SoundCloud stream or like Mixcloud's kind of dead for me anyway. I just find it's like a bit long to upload like an hour's worth of content like every day, and that's all you're uploading every day. It's easy to kind of like flood your timeline, I think, with stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, sometimes it is just, I don't know, it sounds like laziness, but you maybe appreciate this as well. Like when you've done an episode and I've like put it on Podbean or whatever, and then I have to put it onto iMovie and export that as something for YouTube, and then maybe for something else. And you know, it just kind of simplifying that process has taken a while. But no, you know, this has been great, man. I guess finally, what about yourself? How do people get in touch with you? Social media?
At CubKXVU on everything. I'm so happy it's that on everything. Whenever I have guests on breakfast, and they start reeling off like 3 or 4 different ones, I'll always ask them, like, do you not want them all on the same one? And they go, yeah. They either go, I've never really thought about it, or they go, I want it so bad that someone's taken it. But that's my one bit of advice to anyone. Get all your social media tags to be exactly the same. You have no idea how much easier it makes life. It makes everything. When people are trying to promote your stuff, it means they aren't trying to find different tags on different platforms. It's just the same one. Copy and paste job in. It links to everything. It just makes life so much easier. But yeah, CubKXV on everything. I have got a new EP which is out now, which just dropped last week. Which hit number 1 on Juno Download, which I'm very, very happy with. Featuring Popsy English and Razor. It's a proper little grime EP if you want to go check that out. That's out on South Point. Yeah, just staying busy more than anything else.
All right, well, as always, guys, follow us at BattleRapResume, BattleResume@gmail.com. Patreon and iTunes are there if you want to support Liv's Review or help donate to the show. You get episodes like this in return on the RSS feed. Sleepy, Kovu, Mr. Sleeps, thanks again, man.
The man of 1,000 names.
Yeah. Cheers, bro.
Nice one, dude. Catch you in a bit.
All right, man. I'll cut it off there. But that was great, man. Thank you.
Wicked, man. Nice one. Yeah, sorry I got a little bit moany, but
no. It's all good, man. And I'll the signal was fine pretty much throughout, but I'll cut it together a little bit more. But
do you want me to send you this audio file?
Yeah, if you could, please. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've at least got a clean one on my end.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. BattleRapResume@gmail.com. But yeah, dude. Thanks again, man. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, bro. Thanks, bro. Bye.
Bless.
All right. Cheers.